Boy, this turned out gorgeous, didn't it? Wow. You know, the thick build industrial resurfacing ability of Kong armor, it's really just unmatched in the industry. This was an old beat up wood walkway system here. Extreme sun damage, cracks everywhere, hairline cracks, gaps. You know, all the fastener entry points in the deck boards exposed. Readily available for water to corrode them. You know, when you looked at this before, it was just a beat up deal. And I'm just shocked. I'm shocked and I'm in awe of just how well Kong has resurfaced this, because it's really, really pretty. I mean, on a large scale, it's wow. You know, we came in here with an epoxy filler called silverback epoxy, and all of these posts here, and I'll take you on the inside of this so you can see it, but all of these posts here, they had big large areas of checking in them, and we actually came in with the silverback, and what we did, it's an epoxy that has really insane PSI resistance, and so we stuck that in there, and then we smoothed this over and we closed off all that checking. But if you look here, just wow, all the posts locked off, right, where water can't get in them. High build, tough film technology everywhere, rated to take on wind driven rain, sleet, ice, up to hurricane speeds. And you can see we didn't skimp. And most guys would come through here and they would spray down these posts and just do this quickly. This was all done by hand. So all of this whole deck system was done by brush and roller, where we actually manually came in and took the high grade elastomer and pressed it into the cracks and openings. This was a crack and opening. We pressed down in there and filled that all out and resurfaced it. Turned out beautiful, absolutely beautiful. We did this big giant deck system up here too. It's about 15-17 feet up in the air. And you can see before, this band board was inundated with carpenter bee holes. And that's another thing that silverback epoxy that I'm talking to you about is good for. We can actually use it to fill those type of things in. But look at this. Down through here, these deck posts, these 15-foot tall deck posts, they all had big giant cracks that ran in them all the way the length of them. And again, that silverback taken, filled into the cracks. See them? You see the checking? That's all filled in now with that silverback epoxy. You can, right now, you could take a knife to that, ice pick, whatever, it's not coming out of there. It's tough as nails. Very, very tough deal. Well, what it does is it creates a situation where any water that drains down that post from now on, it can't get down inside that post to cause problems. And he won't face having to have somebody come out here and jack this up and pull one out of here. That's the goal anyways, right? So that silverback epoxy in those cracks, and then the Kong armor system over top of it to encapsulate it and lock it all down. And wow, all of my posts, they turn out very, very synthetic looking, almost like composite posts when they're done, because we actually take the time and the care to, instead of just coming through here with a sprayer or something like that and just painting these quickly, we actually take the time and we actually take the care to come in here and fill out every crack and every imperfection in it. And it's done by hand, by pressing, which is very, very hard to get guys to do these days. Extremely hard. That's why when I tell you guys that Kong is a value, I mean it, because it took me a long time to develop guys that would coat decks this way. You don't find this anymore anywhere. Anybody else on the planet coming down through here, they would have came down through there with a sprayer and two coated that system down there. because it's so long, they would have left every water entry point in it open, and they'd have said, you know, give me X thousands of dollars, right? We actually came through there and took the time to manually coat all that out by hand, and with first in class fillers that filled every crack, with thick build Kong that filled every hairline, crack, opening, gap, nail and fastener entry point in the floor. Absurd value. You can't match it. There's nobody that's willing to match it. I can assure you. I know this because I've had to produce the men to do it, right? So I've had to train them to do it. And I can tell you that when I bring somebody new into our fold, a local painter or somebody that's looking for work, when they take on a deck system or an outdoor structure like this and they go to coat it, they leave every water entry point on it open, wide open. And they want to just really quickly coat it, put film on the surface, and get paid. And I have to work with them, and most of the time it takes a year or longer to get them to really start grasping the point of encapsulation, of actually taking and pressing into cracks and actually using first in class fillers and elastomer, and it's one thing to have a first in class elastomer that it can encapsulate decks. It's one thing to have that, like Kong. It's another thing to have the ability to use it properly. That's a totally different thing. And until you can produce labor that can do that, it doesn't really matter. I'm established. I've been able to do that. But I can assure you that nobody coats these structures like my company does. I can absolutely assure you. I've been in fist fights with painters. I've been in arguments with them about how they coat decks, and you know, trust me, I'm there. But that's off subject. I'm talking about how absolutely beautiful this is. I mean, very gorgeous. All the way down through there, that big deck, those two little patios, all produced with the intent to encapsulate every single water opening and entry point on the deck system. Tough film technology, splinter lock technology, UV block, mildew guard, algae block. I mean, these deck systems, as far as first in class technology is concerned, they have more features, more advanced features than a brand new F-150. That's the truth. Backed by a lifetime limited warranty from Kong Armor right here in the tri-state, and backed also with a local lifetime service promise. For life of ownership, we'll stay with this owner and help them anytime they need help. They can either have it under warranty if it qualifies, or they can have it under their service promise if it qualifies, right? Beautiful, 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 beautiful. It's easy to get a quote for Kong. And again, let me just tell you, anything else that you buy as far as coating your deck system, thin residential deck paints and stains and local painters and this and that, whatever you decide to do, it's not going to be as good as Kong. I can assure you. KongArmor.com. Go there now and get a quote. Get your deck actually truly waterlocked, actually truly encapsulated, actually truly protected, and have a local company that stands behind you and backs it for life. That's real value. Get the Kong Armor. KongArmor.com. Hit the free quote button. See ya.